Welcome to the living room Thursday night, where we're learning how to live healthy, even though we're living in a toxic world. Let's get rolling here. Part 2, cost and benefit factors. I'm going to go over here and share screen. And you guys let me know if you can see my PowerPoint. All right. Please let me know if you can see my PowerPoint. Okay. I think I'm going to start at right here. I'm going to start right there, slideshow from current slide. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see my slides. All right, okay, so you can see my slides. Slides are showing, yay. Okay, now I'm going to do, I don't want to go over the part 1, but part 1 talked a little bit about the necessity of supplementation. I stacked on a lot of facts as to why we need to supplement in today's world. We talked about because the food is depleted. We talked about the soil is depleted. We talked about people are actually eating less and then they're turning around and eating more, but we're not getting the nutritional values that we used to get. And we talked about the fact that nutritional deficiencies is the #1 cause as an effect of chronic diseases in the world today. And this has been tested and tried and is true. So what do we need to do about that? We need to actually supplement, and we need to make wiser choices with our foods selections and try to get more and more nutrition, higher intensity nutrition, instead of less calories, but more nutrition. And, you know, in today's world, we don't need to be counting calories. We need to be counting chemicals. So with this in mind, we're running to 80% of Americans are buying supplements. So let's go over what are they getting when they're buying supplements. Here are 4 main reasons why supplements do not work. Because they're low quality, #1. It's shocking to know that how many supplement companies have been bought out by big pharma, and all of their, let's say, mass production in raw materials are coming from China. There's no way to be able to do a thorough investigation and checking every single batch that's coming over from China that they're putting into these supplements. And so therefore it creeps in, it slips in, and then it floods in. You open the gate and it floods in. So it's poor quality, and it is also low purity. So in other words, we're having an issue with lots of lead, lots of mercury, BPA, and all the other things that are happening with nutrition. Let's see, with our supplementation, because nobody's checking, and the soils that they're coming from, especially out of China, is loaded with all these toxic heavy metals. Contamination also, not only with heavy metals, but contamination with bacteria, fungus. So you've got a combination of things that are happening in the arena of supplementation that makes it very, very difficult for us to find something that's high quality, along with being pure, along with actually going to benefit us. And even worse, it could be an empty capsule, meaning that there's actually nothing really in it. And we saw that when we do our regular classes, and we could see dozens of examples from Consumer Lab to Bloomberg to see that they're testing independently these supplements, and they're finding that there's absolutely nothing in these tablets or capsules in over 90+% of them. So it is harder than ever to spot these defective supplements online and at the store. Doesn't matter where you buy them, whether it's eBay or whether it's Amazon or whether it is at the store. The FDA does not regulate the industry. We don't want the industry to be regulated by the FDA because we don't want to have to be, let's say, give approval to take a B vitamin or a vitamin C. It will always be, if it's regulated, that means that they're going to be telling you what you can and cannot do. I am for freedom and freedom of choice. And that's why we do these classes, is because we can help you be part of increasing your knowledge.
Jamie, I didn't get home till 6:30 and didn't get any email, but it's Levon, and she's talking about supplements part 2. She did part 1 a couple of weeks ago.
All right, hold on.
I just went to
Okay, hold on. I am going, because it won't let me out. For some reason, it won't let me out unless I end it.
Figure out how to do it.
Let me go out.
The same email
Make.
and then she just said
Right.
no.
Okay, babe.
But anyway, if you're there and if you, I know it's raining out, I thought maybe. So it just started.
We're gonna go.
I can tell you, find an email.
Are you iPhone?
Yeah. Zoom address, and she's talking. She's going to be part 2.
Here we go. Change host. There we go.
Hopefully we can talk to you.
Yay. Okay. Current slide. All right. Tell me if you can see my slide now. Can you? Okay, we're up and rolling again. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, but it blocks me out. I can't let anybody in once I start recording and put so I have to switch host. All right, so synthetic versus whole food source. So in other words, I think we put out a very strong case against synthetic vitamins, but you'd be shocked to discover how many vitamins are made synthetically. And did you know that a label can say it's plant sourced and it come from a GMO bacteria or a genetically modified fungus or bacteria, and it can say plant sourced, and you might say, but my label says it's plant sourced. But again, it may be genetically modified bacteria or genetically modified fungus, because they can call that a plant. So synthetic versus whole food source. 98% of the food, non-food synthetic vitamins, well, they are being manufactured and sold because they're easy to mass produce. They cost less, so their profit margin is higher. And relative to carefully preparing real, healthful supplements from human natural food sources.
You get in or not?
And I think that's real important. If you can,
and now she just said,
it's real important to understand that it has to be human natural whole food, because there are things in nature that can be called natural, like rocks and coal tar and petroleum-based things, and that's natural to nature. But is it human natural? Is it then something that that humans have been consuming for thousands of years and tried and proven that it's not going to harm you? Many of these non-food synthetic vitamins are much less effective and potentially harmful. That is why I tell people, if they insist on buying these synthetic vitamins, please don't take more than what's recommended on the label. Why? Because if you do, you're increasing your toxicity to your liver. And I want to say this very, very clearly. Your liver can detect a synthetic vitamin. Your liver can detect a vitamin that's made from human whole food versus something that is called natural, which might be rocks or pine bark or pond scum or a fungus or a bacteria. It knows the difference. So in other words, you are bringing toxins to your liver to handle through these synthetic vitamins. 2% our food source vitamin supplements. That leaves a very narrow ratio. And I know that every time that I share this information, I might have 50 people in the room, and all 50 people are saying, well, I know I'm taking that 2%. It's just this human nature that says, don't tell me I've been taking garbage over the last, 50 years of my life. Please don't tell me. I'm not one of those. It's just human nature. But I am here to inform you of the truth. And the truth is, yes, you are taking those that is harming your liver. Human whole food derived from naturally occurring full spectrum food extracts by taking a nutrient rich plant. So first of all, you have to test the plant. You have to find out if this plant is even viable or even has some nutrition or the levels of nutrition that you're even looking for. And then you have to remove the fiber parts, remove the water parts, in a chemical-free vacuum process, because it's very cheap to remove the fiber and the water through a chemical. And then all of a sudden you have an added chemical to the process that your body, and especially your liver, is going to detect. And then in a vacuum process. So in other words, you don't want any oxygen to come in contact with your precious, valuable nutrient. Packaged for stability in this way, the entire vitamin complex is captured and intact. I think this is very powerful, very important that you get the entire complex of the nutrient family that that plant or that food is offering you for your health. And then retaining its functional and nutritional integrity, as well as full spectrum of nutritional values. So you have to maintain its function, you have to maintain its integrity, and you have to maintain its stability. Do you know how hard that is to do all of that? Step by step by step by step, and check and recheck and recheck and recheck. This is why companies don't do this, is because there is a cost to this type of process. And it's just not cost effective when they have large profit margins, because they have big, say, investment firms that are looking for large profits. Just makes sense. Common sense being used here. So synthetic vitamin D can actually cause, this is an article I found, 14 side effects. The majority of vitamin D sold out there is made from radiated lanolin. Now, when's the last time that you ate a bowl full of lanolin? Now, lanolin might be something you put on your skin, but it's certainly not something you put in your body. But this is the industry's main source for vitamin D. A non-food synthetic vitamin cannot be absorbed in your body easily as a food source vitamin. Vitamin manufacturers in the laboratory come without the naturally occurring variants and derivatives of the food source vitamin. So in other words, it can be labeled a vitamin C or a label of vitamin D, but it's missing its natural in-state cofactors and partners, you might say, and they're not partners in crime. They're actually partners in the restorative values of your health. Now, who's doing the partners in crime are the corporations that are deriving these synthetic vitamins and these isolate vitamins and labeling them as vitamins and not fully disclosing to the public their this information. They're lacking trace minerals, because vitamins in nature is always found in families, and they are found in the components of always a group of minerals, because remember, minerals is your catalyst. It's the enzymes that are the catalyst that supercharge and activate these vitamins. So when you isolate them or when they're from a synthetic source, they're separated from their minerals, they're separated from their cofactors that together ensure super supplements proper absorption into the bloodstream and eventually the body's cells. So in other words, that nutrition that's concentrated needs to actually show up at the cellular level, or otherwise you're going to just excrete it out with your morning defecation process. And by the way, that's the majority of what most people do. So these are helper molecules that actually help vitamin C or help vitamin B or help vitamin D. These are helper molecules, and that's required for let's say a protein or a vitamin biological activity to actually happen. So what happens once you take these synthetic vitamins? They normally the liver has to process them. We talked about that. And then when the liver has to process them, it's got to detox. And so you're adding toxins to the liver. And then your body doesn't receive anything at the cellular level to help, let's say, form health or introduce health at the cellular level, then your body actually is doing more damage and more harm today than good by taking these unnatural substances called vitamins made from synthetic substances or are isolates. Tests have also shown that the synthetic vitamins are less available to the body. Yes, they're not bioavailable in their context of the cofactors and trace minerals and then human natural, because food source vitamins exist in physiochemical forms which the body can recognize. So in other words, the body can recognize the actual natural state of a family of nutrients when it can't really recognize an isolate that's been derived synthetically. Since food-derived vitamins have similar particle sizes, they ensure better absorption availability for the body. And published science research also clearly shows that food-derived natural vitamins are naturally superior relative to their synthetic versions. Now, wouldn't you say that you are naturally superior as a human to an artificial intelligence? I hope you would say yes. And it's by no offense to the artificial intelligence, but it is giving glory to the original creator, and we being the original creation in the likeness and the image of the original creator. Whole food, biologically complete, so natural versus synthetic extraction. Some experts believe that this is because real vitamins contain the essential trace minerals. We talked about that. And that synthetic vitamins do not contain trace minerals. And so they can't serve the body's process of wellness and health like a human natural family of vitamins. There are clear structural differences between food source and synthetic vitamins. Most non-food vitamins are isolated crystalline in structure. Unlike vitamins that occur naturally in food, which are not crystalline and never isolated. If you want to write down anything, vitamins are never isolated. See, we are family. You did not come into this world solo. You came into this world because you had a biological family that came together in some form or fashion, okay? And so God loves families. Our Creator loves families. And nutrition in nature is found in families. We're going to talk about that. And it's showing here that crystalline, which is a shape of a synthetic vitamin, doesn't even take on the form or a shape of what a natural nutrient and family of nutrients is like found in nature itself. it's always accompanied by multi variants, derivatives, and trace minerals and cofactors. So just like when I did the class on vitamin C and talked about vitamin C, 98% of our vitamin C sold today in the market, and I don't care where you're getting it, is made from genetically modified corn from China. And it can be on the label ascorbic acid, but it's not going to serve your body the same way that a juice extracted orange is going to serve your body. Because a juice extracted orange is going to have all of its cofactors, it's going to have all of its variants, it's going to have the whole family, it's going to have all of its trace minerals in it. Some of its cofactors are bioflavonoids. Oh, amazing. Very amazing. So the body knows best. Functional vitamin activity can only happen in the body when all the cofactors and components of the vitamin complex are present in the right proportions. Here's another key factor. They need to be in the right proportion, in the right blending, and the same way that it's found in nature, not overabundance. We see that in our food supply right now, we're having problems with, let's say, gluten, because we've altered the very chromosome of wheat. So the chromosome of wheat, the structure of the molecule itself is more starch-like. And so by eating bread, you're getting a sugar high worse than eating a candy bar. And it's an out of balance gluten and out of balance starch molecule. So then the body can't handle that out of balance. And the same thing with a synthetic vitamin. That's why nature always knows best. And it's just not smart to go against the natural laws of nature, because man has tried it. And every time he's gotten in trouble. And when man does this, he gloats. Okay, but the end result is never life, because a synthetic source of something cannot produce life. Only life can produce life. Only life can produce life. So it has to be a living substance. That living substance has to be within the family unit of its cofactors, its minerals, its variants, in order for it to function properly as a health component to the body. There's a strong case to be made for purified crystalline synthetic compounds that are not real vitamins. So in other words, they had to change the label laws in order to call a synthetic crystal a vitamin. Did you hear what I just said? They changed the label laws in order to accommodate synthetic forms of vitamins. So they could actually call this a vitamin C, even though it did not come from nature. They can call this a vitamin B or a D, but it didn't come from because remember the original word vitamin means whole food sourced nutrition. So they had to actually redefine vitamin, and they had to change the laws in order to get away with selling a synthetic component from coal tar, rocks, acetylene gasoline, turpentine. They had to change the definition of vitamin in order to sell you this. Oh my goodness. So these components and families in nature work synergistic. They work together in families of components. Individual components of these complexes cannot be isolated and still be called a vitamin and perform at full range of their vitamin functions within the body. They just can't do the job of the real, natural, whole human food that's found in nature as it's found in nature, that's derived from nature as it's found in nature. there's a strong case to be made. Okay. So for instance, vitamin A is present naturally in foods in the form of retinol esters, while beta carotene in natural foods is always accompanied by mixes of carotenoids and chlorophyll. So in other words, you can call a beta carotene on a label beta carotene, and it comes straight from turpentine, acetylene gas. And that's why when they did studies with beta carotene and they showed that it drives inflammation, that it caused cancer in those men with prostate cancer, they gave them an acetylene gas derived beta carotene, and it actually increased their prostate cancer. And in the men with the lung cancer, did the same thing with the lung cancer, because the liver knows the difference between a beta carotene derived from a carrot and beta carotene derived from acetylene gas. So synthetic versus natural plant food sourced, the natural health industry has been taking up vitamin supplements as being essential for a healthy and a long life. Scientifically speaking, vitamins were originally defined as natural organic substances that originated primarily in plants, essential small amounts of our health, growth, reproduction, and maintenance. It's essential. That means you can't live without it. Just like we're going to talk about vitamin C and vitamin B tonight. The vast majority, 98%, are synthetic. This is why I would rather take nothing than take a store-bought vitamin. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with someone today that this gentleman was taking store-bought supplements, and it was affecting his kidneys. And it was driving kidney failure, and he's a young man. And he switched over to a human whole food source, and his kidneys healed itself like that. And he told me today, as I had a conversation with him, he said, I've told people you're better off to buy nothing than to buy a store-bought supplement. Wow. So most commercially available natural or organic vitamins are neither natural nor organic, but synthetic chemicals derived from petroleum, coal tar, derivatives, chemically processed sugars, and industrialized processed oils. I was listening to, with my husband's eye situation, I was listening to one of the world's leading homeopathic eye doctors. And I'm going to record some of his talks where he talks specifically about supplements. And he said, I haven't found an oil supplement that I recommend because they're all rancid. When I test them, they're all full of rancidity. Rancid oils drive inflammation. And of course, I could shout out and say, well, I know of one that is not rancid. Yes. So vitamins are fragile components found in nature. They must be extracted, identified, and then extracted properly in order for them to contain the family unit that is found in nature, so it can be released at the cellular level inside your human body to positively affect and give you benefits from your brain to your heart to your liver to your big toe. Vitamins are fragile and easily destroyed with heat, light, and exposure to air. Usually they cannot be made in our bodies with sufficient quantities, like vitamin C. Humans do not make vitamin C. We have to be smart enough to put vitamin C in our body. How many here saw that, what was it? Simply Orange. It was in trouble now in a lawsuit, the product Simply Orange that claims to be Simply Orange, but it's not Simply Orange at all. And now they're in a major lawsuit over what is really in that bottle called Simply Orange. And it says right on the label, get your daily dose of vitamin C. Wow. you'd be better off to buy an orange and eat the orange. Sufficient quantities and therefore must be consumed through diet or supplementation. Traditionally, as vitamin supplement is meant to prevent nutritional deficiencies. In fact, the combination of essential vitamins and minerals in multivitamin supplements is designed to resemble a healthy dietary patterns and include regular fruits and vegetable consumption. That's one of the reasons why I love Neolife, because their package of Pro Vitality resembles a daily consumption of these numbers of fruits and vegetables that the body needs on a daily basis. So it's meeting the need, filling the gap, and you can trust the source. So the body always knows best. How do you spot the difference? What's the multivitamin? What commercially available multivitamin supplements are made of, artificially synthesized. They're isolated. They're full of chemicals that are unable to achieve a full range of vitamin-like activities in our bodies relative to the originals. Sometimes they may be completely, totally inactive, like but over 90+% of the capsules are just empty. Some can be toxic at higher levels. We talked about that. Many consumers have been brainwashed into thinking that these synthetic versions are the same as something even superior to naturally occurring food source vitamins. Well, it's the same brainwashing that's going on today with artificial intelligence. You know, there's people out there that honestly believe that a computer is of a higher intelligence being than a human being, and they elevate an artificial intelligence over a human being that God created. Food source vitamins, this false idea has been propagated mainly by supplement industry whose overriding interest is in the name of profits. So how can you spot the difference? I want everybody to snap a picture of this slide right here. Before you take another supplement into your mouth, make sure it meets this criteria. Let's go down the criteria. First of all, is it human whole food, not synthetic? Human whole food derived. Does it have all the cofactors? Meaning it can't be an isolate, because an isolate doesn't have cofactors. If it's an oil, is the oil cold pressed in an oxygen-free environment? Is it biologically complete? Does it have all the families of nutrients that God created in nature? Is it been tested for over 200 toxins? And this is a family unit of about 1,000 identified toxins with a zero tolerance. Is it from raw materials tested authentically, meaning all the raw materials that's brought in to derive this carotenoid complex or vitamin E? Has it been tested and retested, or do we just accept a certificate from the farmer? Or do we do in-house testing ourselves? This is how a lot of organic companies get in trouble, is because they just simply accept a certification from a farmer, but they don't do any in-house testing. Full family profiles. Again, does it have the cofactors? Does it have all the derivatives that is found in nature? Nature always is your guideline. So make sure that they're following the principles of nature. The seal of accountability. All right. So who's backing up what they're saying? Because in this industry, you can say a whole lot of stuff, can't you? But can you prove what you're saying? Can you back what you're saying? And I love the fact that Neolife operates under a pharmaceutical license and an SAB seal, double sealing the highest and assuring the highest quality standards in the world. Seal of accountability, produced under a pharmaceutical license, printed in peer-reviewed medical journals. Has the formulas been so engineering and pioneering that they've drawn the attention of the nutritional industry and said, oh my goodness, we've got some very first ever in history here, and we're going to printed in peer-reviewed medical journals to say, this is authentic, this is real, this is making a difference, and this is amazing. No one else has ever done this before. And how about privately owned company? You might say, well, why do you put that in there? Because it has to do with philosophy. It has to do what's the driving factor, philosophy of a company. If it is a profit-driven company that is owned by shareholders, I guarantee you profits is what drives that company all the way down to the bottom line. But if it's privately owned, it might be driven by a totally different philosophy, and profits might not be the number one driver. It honestly might be health and providing benefits for mankind to change your health and meet the needs of a person's demands for health every day and in the arena of nutrition. How about clinical human studies done? Have they actually tested this formula out on humans? Wouldn't you want to know that? Have they tested this out on humans? Well, this is actually only done through Neolife. I've only found one company that does clinical human studies on their formulas. And then because of our clinical human studies, they're posted in peer-reviewed medical journals. So they're actually actively working with nature rather than fighting against nature in order to raise the profit margins. There's nothing wrong with making a profit. That's called economy. That's called free enterprise. That's a beautiful thing. That's a good thing. But the problem comes in is when we take a product and we cheapen it to raise the profit margins, and we don't inform the public that they're getting less quality. That is a problem. And so bioavailable, do these nutritional supplements actually reach my cells and change the activity at my cellular level for health? And what are the values, philosophy, and history behind the company? And you might think, well, I don't care about the history. I do, because what a company does one time is exactly what the company will do all the time, every time. So if a company's gotten in trouble, I talked to somebody the other day and I said, are you aware that Garden of Life was caught when they were tested independently as some of the highest offenders of lead and BPA? And they go, yeah, but that was 2 years ago. Now, excuse me. I'm like, okay, so your wife cheated on you 2 years ago. So you totally trust her today? And she's going to the same bar every night. Excuse me. That's like trusting. Okay. And then I was able to inform him. Are you aware that that was their 5th offense? Their 5th. I have a record that that was their 4th or 5th offense. And I said, even though they were caught first round, second round, third round, and now here's the 4th round, let's say, the 4th round, and all of a sudden they had more lead in it than first round, second round, or third round. Okay. So in other words, all right, if your wife cheated on you 2 years ago, she's going to the same bar every single night. Wouldn't you want to question that? Wow. Just a simple analogy. So what do we got? Juice extracted, dehydrated, organically grown, non-hybrid, vine ripened, non-GMO fruits and vegetables, produced according to pharmaceutical regulations, produced in peer-reviewed medical journals. That's a mouthful, but guess what? That's what you want. You are quality, so you need to demand quality. And it's only because I found that we don't know, so therefore we don't ask or demand. So if you don't know that synthetics might harm you, then you're not going to ask for human whole food, right? So it's a simple matter of raising the standard of educating others about what we have and what we offer. Dr. First, very rare, very special. Greater, superior, higher, better, more than a match. I like to call Neolife that it's greater, superior, higher, better, more than a match. First rate, first class, top notch, unsurpassed, unequaled, unrivaled by any company or person. Over and above, beyond any standards of measurement, paramount and foremost. Now you might think, oh, LaVon, you're just bragging too much. No, I am like someone who looked for a diamond for many years, and all I found was trashy rocks. When I did find the diamond, I'm going to shout it. I am going to tell the world I found the diamond. And I didn't know before that a zirconian is not a diamond. It sparkled like a diamond, but when it was put to the test, it couldn't handle the test of a diamond. And now that I know the difference, and I looked for the diamond, and I found that real was very rare. And when I found the real, you don't let it go. You don't let it slip easily through your fingers. You hold on to it and you share it with the world. So these nutritionals give the heaviest impact to bring about a state of health. And this is why over 9 years, I've seen the transformation. I want you to look around the room. Everybody wave your hand. You're looking at lives of people who have been transformed and have testimonies because of these amazing nutritionals. You do not see a hall of fame when it comes to Garden of Life of testimonies. When you walk into a doctor's office, wouldn't it be something if all you saw all the way down the line of a doctor's office is all the testimonies of my doctor helped me get off statin drugs. My doctor helped me get off blood pressure meds. My doctor helped me get off metformin. My doctor helped me with this. My doctor helped me. Wouldn't that be amazing? But do you see that when you go into a doctor's office? No, you see all of his credentials on the wall. Oh my goodness. So as a leader in the industry for over 65 years, Neolife has fought many battles against backward thinking. We have held firm to our belief that nutrition is not only fundamental to health, but that a nutritional supplement program based on nature's blueprint is hugely important to health protection, disease prevention, and a longer life. Wow. Through prevention, dedication, and unwavering belief in the cause of better health, we will make a positive difference in the lives of everyone alive today and in the future, helping people understand what is pushing them into disease and helping them change direction. These are words that I have quoted here in this slide of Dr. Arthur First. Amazing words, amazing man. To me, he's a hero. He fits the definition of a hero, a man who was going down one path and saw that switching paths, doing a complete paradigm shift to his future would actually benefit humanity. It wouldn't pad his pocketbook. It wouldn't stack his Swiss bank accounts, but it would cause him to lay his head down at night and say, a job well done today, Dr. Arthur First. Wow. Amazing. Legacy logo of trust for 65 years. Do you know the logo down here at the bottom was the very first logo of Neolife, was the Bible and a seed of wheat coming out of the Bible. That was the very first logo that Neolife put together in 1958 to represent this company. And I am so proud to say that in 65 years, we haven't wavered, we haven't veered, we haven't watered down. Unlike some churches today, right? So it's still solid today, more solid today than ever before with their philosophy. with how they go about the business of health. Wow. Yes. They still honor nature. They still go to nature. They still honor God and God's principles. So I took these words out of a very old print from Neolife. We don't take their word for it. We put it to the test. So remember, I talked about how we don't take a certificate from the farmer. We actually take in that raw material and we go and put it to the test. We verify the quality of each raw material, no matter how reputable the supplier may be. We do our own in-house testing according to our pharmaceutical licensing. Each shipment is quarantined until an individual batch sample can be tested for potency, for purity, for heavy metals. Only after raw materials have met their exacting standards are they moved into our warehouse. And testing doesn't stop there. We also analyze finished products, enzymes, vitamins, phytonutrients according to our stringent SAB board. So before we even let it into the house, it has to be tested. You are who you say you are. Wouldn't that be something if we did that to everybody come knocking on our door? Are you who you say you really are? All right. It's the same thing. We test for its validity, identity, before we even bring it into our warehouse to say we're going to use this carrot for our carotenoid complex. We're going to use this tomato for our carotenoid complex. We're going to use this wheat germ for our vitamin E. We're going to use this orange for our vitamin C. Border control, I love it. Standards to be sure, they must meet or exceed the rigorous scientific and regulatory criteria essential to the market products throughout the world. We do this throughout the world because we get products from all around the world. We get some of our beef and our beef liver and our endurance from Brazil or from New Zealand. Amazing. We test it and retest it. Using advanced methods. We actually use advanced methods because we created the technology to do the testing. When other companies weren't even interested in testing, why should they? Because the consumers aren't aware that they're being harmed. Wow. Stability for, okay, what is tested? Disintegration, dissolution, time, stability, purity, potency, bioavailability, odor, taste. Moreover, we exceed regulatory requirements by subjecting our products to additional tests, often conducted by researchers from universities, government agencies, and private contract laboratories to verify their performance. This is where we work with over 200 healthcare professionals. And we're talking about universities. We're talking about government laboratories that we work with to test these amazing formulas before we put them out there in the market. Do you know that we're going to be releasing a new formula in July at Summit? And so rest assured, whatever it's going to be has been strategically tested for many months and even years before we finally release it to the public as a bona fide, verified, SAB, pharmaceutically licensed Neolife formula. State-of-the-art research and development facilities. So that means you've got to have a facility set up for this type of testing, right? If you say, oh yeah, we test for 1,000 impurities, and then I find out that they operate out of their garage. Now you may laugh, but I've actually seen that in my research, that there are companies that started in the garage. There was one company, they finally took them down because so many complaints about their product. And on the label, we'd talk about how pure they were, how natural they were. Come to find out, they were operating their business out of their garage. and selling it online like hotcakes. Hey, you laugh at that, but guess what? Yeah, meth labs. You laugh at that, but do you know most of your protein companies that are sold in all the Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Target, and all the other stores were started in the garage of some teenager that wanted to make a protein. And he ordered this from China and ordered that from China, mixed it up and started putting his marketing labels on and going on social media and telling his story and selling his product. Wow.
So is Muppet Labs also not good?
Who?
Muppet Lab? You know, you have in the Muppet Show, they have a Muppet Lab.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't catch that joke. The Muppets.
Yeah, that's where Once and Tony do. He's a great guy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yes. So it's like cartoons. Yes. Neolife has a multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art product research and development facility on 2 continents, Europe and the United States. Our one in the United States is Silicon Valley. The other one in Europe, this is why we actually did some of our testing at Oxford University in England with the carotenoid complex. And it was Oxford University, when they tested our carotenoid complex, said, you better patent this one. Well, you can't patent a food. So we patent the process. Why? Because we have the state-of-the-art developed facility, multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art product research and development facility. Our sparkling clean North American research facility and our leading edge European technology center house high technology instrumentation that allows us to develop safe, effective products. In addition, Neolife is listed as an original equipment manufacturer. Real important, because, well, how did you do this oxygen-free nitrogen environment cold extraction process? Well, we were the first that did it. Well, how did you do that? Well, we actually put our scientists' heads together and we developed the machines to actually get this product as an end result. So in other words, other companies would have to invest in the machines. Well, why would they want to invest in the machines when the standard consumer doesn't know that they're being sold rancid oils? And that being cold extraction makes a difference between whether it's going to help your body or it's going to harm your body. Wow. Neolife is listed as an original manufacturer, so it's real important to know that we develop the machines to get the end results that we want. We had to create the machines. No one else had ever created these machines before. And manufacturers of his own specialized production equipment. Thus, Neolife can rapidly implement new product and technology and innovations because we were pioneers. Do you know what a pioneer is? A pioneer is one who plows, clears the path, plows the fallow ground so they can build a solid foundation, and they build on their knowledge. They build on their knowledge. They build on their knowledge. That's what a pioneer does. Wow. So Neolife, first giant step, nutrition began in 1958, means new life. Neolife means new life. And what was the symbol? Was a Bible with a sprig of wheat coming out of the center of that Bible, which symbolizes the power of giving your body the nutrients required to live a full life of health and vitality. First step of health and healing. First step in health and healing is meeting the body's requirements for nutrition. That's the first step. Nutrition is at the top of this amazing cascade of needing our body's processes for healing. Good nutrition begins at the cell level. Oh, really? So if your nutrition is not reaching your cell level, it's going in one way, coming out the other end that it came in the beginning. So you have an entrance door, you have an exit door. And so it's going in the entrance door and it's going through, making its toxic deposit into your liver, and then exiting. Some of it, yes. Yes. Good nutrition begins at the cell level. Each of the cells is like a miniature body. Every cell must be able to take nutrients in and eliminate waste products efficiently. Just like your body as a whole, important nutrients discovered in 1958, known as phytolipids and phytosterols, make cell membranes work so well you feel more energized and experience overall better health. La Trayanin. Cell function or malfunction. This is true lipid therapy. As I shared Saturday, you have to establish order at the border. If you don't establish order at the border, every kind of foreign entity is going to come in and disguise itself as good when it's really a mask of good. Behind the mask is evil. These amazing lipids regulate the range of functions of every single cell, including your immune system, your inflammatory index, your muscle contraction, hormone signaling that plays a part in tumor growth, protection against cell damage, keeping the cell functioning normally. The science behind our amazing pioneer formula, by the way, no one has ever continued any of this research except for Neolife, and nobody else has this formula, increases cell function by 50%, which when you can increase the cell function by 50%, you can reduce your risk of chronic disease by 90%. This is amazing. How many here listened to our big Global Health Day on Saturday? All right. Well, hopefully you signed up so you got it recorded. I can't believe this. I'm ashamed. No, but nobody in this room. Come on, Denisha did. I know Denisha did. Global Health Day. We had some amazing testimonies when I did my part on hormones. Amazing testimonies that was shared on our Global Health Day. How about this? Vitamin A for a great day. Vitamin A is a fat-soluble nutrient. Obtaining the recommended daily values of this vitamin is important because it is essential for normal vision, production, embryonic development during pregnancy, growth, and proper activation of immune system. You have more intense vitamin A in your ear, nose, and throat. This is why it helps with inflammation. When you get a cold, when you get a respiratory infection, vitamin A, sinus drainage, sinus drip, vitamin A, activates the immune system, and is also central for conversion of cholesterol into the male hormones. You can get this through egg yolks, liver, beef, and fish, as well as fortified milk and dairy products such as cheese, yogurt, butter, and cream contain vitamin A already performed as a retinol. All right, so, but our vitamin A, Neolife vitamin A, is from cold extracted pollock. If you're going to get a cold extracted pollock, you're going to get vitamin D with it too. Guess what is vitamin D and vitamin A? What was the very first nutritional formulas that grandmas and great grandmas had in her medicine cabinet at all time? Cod liver oil. This is a form of cod liver oil, only it's pollock oil. Many a time, yeah.
I have to tell you a quick story. My youngest uncle, they had to hide him. I heard, I wasn't born at the time, but they had to hide it from him because he liked it so much. Because he would just take the bottle and just drink the whole thing. You? No, my uncle.
That's because his body was craving it.
He really liked it. So
no, his body was craving it. Yeah, craving it. Notice here at the top of this, it says water miscible. That's one of our pioneer formulas. To take an oil, a fat-soluble nutrient, break it down into tiny little molecules that surround a water molecule, that can be transported and not clog the liver. Wow. On the bottle, it does say only take one if you're over a certain age, or if you're younger, only take one. I think one every other day.
Right.
All right. That is because, remember, we redefined the definition of a vitamin. Under that redefined definition of a vitamin, synthetics is considered a vitamin, and they had a lot of side effects from a synthetic vitamin A. So they forced everyone to change the label to minimize your consumption of vitamin A, because a synthetic vitamin A will collect in the liver. But a fresh, cold extracted pollock liver oil will not, especially if it's water miscible. It was Dr. Arthur First, by the way, and our SAB that developed this amazing pioneered research technology. All of Neolite's fat-soluble nutrients are water miscible.
So that you can take that every day?
Yes, you can take several every day. B vitamins, deficiency symptoms. Let's take a look at what symptoms that you might have of deficiency of vitamin B's. The body needs them all, by the way. There are 8 of them. We just talked about the importance of the whole family. How about paranoia, hyperactivity, confusion, depression, poor memory, insomnia, dry skin? As a matter of fact, malaria was cured by giving people vitamin B, the entire family of vitamin B. Medications deplete vitamin B. They block vitamin B absorptions, asthma, and vitamin B helps magnesium to react throughout the body. Vitamin B helps your detoxification pathways. So if you're deficient in any one of these amazing 8 family members of vitamin B, you could be suffering. The family that works together is called synergy, the synergy power of vitamin B. So let's take a look. The Neolife difference. Threshold controlled. Here's a technology we introduced into the industry that no one else had ever even heard of or thought of hearing. So we want to hit the body with vitamin B as a water-soluble nutrient. And we want it to stay at that level for 6 to 8 hours. Guess what? Dr. Arthur First invented this amazing technology to hit your cells for 6 to 8 solid hours. B. So you can be healthy for 6 to 8 hours, meeting your cellular needs. Whole food derived nutritional yeast. So you want to make sure it's not genetically modified yeast, right? You want to make sure through a special process of growing and harvesting and drying, and naturally high potency, biologically bound B vitamin sourced material is created. Neolife actually created our own individual B vitamin. We actually have a facility where we grow the food that feeds the yeast. So it's a highly intense nutritional food that feeds the yeast, that makes our vitamin B. Blended with liver and soy lecithin to provide the entire B vitamin family in a whole food balanced ratios. Wow. More on vitamin B, Neolife style. Notice where it says threshold controlled. Just like with the vitamin A, it was water miscible. Now it's threshold controlled. All B vitamins, as known as B complex, are water soluble, which means if they don't get used right away, they get eliminated through your urine. In general, B vitamins help the body convert carbohydrates into fuel. They actually metabolize glucose. So if you have a glucose issue with metabolization, it might be a vitamin B deficiency. Help the body. And They are important for the health of your skin, your hair, your eyes, your liver, and also help your brain and nervous system and function optimum. Wow. Let's talk about B1, thiamine. Plays a critical role in energy, metabolism, and in the growth and development of proper functioning in your body's cells. Thiamine helps to change carbs into energy. Thiamine is also essential for optimal heart function and healthy nerve cells. Since we store thiamine in the liver in very small amounts, the body requires a continuous supply of it from our diet. Natural food sources include whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, eggs, lean meats, including pork, organ meats, and fish. Many countries are fortified with, their foods are fortified with thiamine exclusively. Excessive overheating foods containing thiamine can reduce their content. So this is the importance of thiamine and actually helping your body to metabolize glucose. Do we have a problem with that in the US of A? All right, glucose metabolism. How about B2, riboflavin? Meat, eat your meat, eat your meat, eat your meat. B2, riboflavin, is an essential component of two major coenzymes in the body known as flavin mononucleotides and flavin adenine, and I won't say that next word, but these coenzymes play major roles in energy production, cellular function, growth, development, production of red blood cells, metabolism of fats, how you metabolize drugs and steroids also affect this B2 vitamin, this riboflavin. Most people get more than 90% of their needs met through dietary factors. Foods that are particularly rich in riboflavin are eggs, organ meats, kidneys, liver, lean meats, milk, green vegetables, and notice how B vitamins are power packed in meat, especially organ meat. Bacteria in large intestines also make small amounts of free riboflavin that can be absorbed and used. Interestingly, more riboflavin is produced by our gut bacteria. So if your gut bacteria is out of balance, then your riboflavin is not going to be in balance. And what can that cost you? It can cost you an energy production of metabolizing glucose. Okay. Oh, here's another picture of meat. B3, niacin in meat. Niacin helps the digestive system, skin, nerves to function properly, and is also important for converting all three micronutrients in food: carbs, proteins, and fats. Are you getting the picture here? On how B vitamins help with your digestion. They help with your glucose processing in your body. They help with neurotransmission. They help with so many things. And they're found in meat. They're found in organ meats. When's the last time you had some liver? When's the last time you were called or you said, am I just chopped liver? A form of niacin known as nicotinic acid is routinely used to treat the condition of having low HDL and LDL cholesterol and triglyceride levels. So in other words, you've got a B vitamin that plays a part in balancing your cholesterol here. Wow. A natural histamine turns tryptophan into serotonin. Excuse me. This is huge. This can turn a schizophrenic into a normal, healthy person. This can turn someone who is chronically depressed into a normal, healthy, happy person that's excited about life and excited about facing the day. This is amazing. They took B3 out of our grains. When they first discovered the power of B3, they went into insane asylums. and they emptied them by giving them B vitamins, folks. That's the power, synergy power of these amazing nutrients. Niacin is present in milk, eggs, rice, tuna, saltwater fish, lean meats, avocado, eggs, legumes, nuts, poultry, as well as enriched breads and cereals. But again, you're going to get the synthetic form when you buy it enriched. I left that in there because I want you to know you're not getting the B vitamin that is highly nourished and rich from a fortified substance in a box of cereal. You're going to get the cheap version. How about B5? B5 is pantothenic acid. Like all B vitamins, helps the body convert carbohydrates. Do you get the picture here? It's glucose issues. It's metabolism of glucose, carbohydrates, sugars, digestion of fats and carbs and glucose and sugars. Oh my goodness. Pantothenic acid is also critically important to the body's ability to make red blood cells. Sex and stress related hormones, as well as cholesterol and fatty acids. What makes testosterone is cholesterol. What's going to protect your cholesterol is B vitamins, so that cholesterol can do what cholesterol is supposed to do, which is make sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, the proper balance, serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine. How about here when it talks about fatty acids, and necessary for maintaining a healthy gut, repair, maintenance in your body's cells, and helping the body use other vitamins, especially riboflavin. So again, they work synergistically. They work together as a family, as a group. Vitamin B5 is found in a variety of foods, including fresh meat. Do you notice every single one of these? First and foremost, fresh meat, fresh market meat. Organ meats was next. Poultry, eggs, broccoli, kale, and other vegetables. The cabbage family, avocado, mushrooms, legumes, and lentils. Wow. Very interesting. Now let's move on to biotin. Biotin is an important coenzyme that forms part of several of the body's enzyme systems that are involved in what? Carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism. You see, if your metabolism is not functioning properly, it might be because you have a B deficiency here going on here, because these B vitamins play a major part. Are we getting the picture here? A major part in building hormones, digesting and processing and metabolizing fats and carbs and glucose. Like pantothenic acid is found in a variety of foods, including chocolate, oh my goodness, legumes, nuts, organ meats such as liver, kidney, pork, yeast, as well as fortified in cereals and milk. Again, the version you're going to get in the fortification is not the good old-fashioned whole food derived B vitamin. So introducing something that Neolife introduced was a formula to help you process in the liver your fats, your glucose, and to help your body's cholesterol from oxidizing, and to help your liver to process fats and glucose is lipotropic adjunct. Guess what's in our lipotropic adjunct? It is B6, B12, and folic acid to help lower homocysteine levels. Why? Because it was shown that it's not cholesterol that is the evil villain in heart disease. It's homocysteine levels. It's homocysteine, not cholesterol. So taking a look here to help keep lipids emulsified in the bloodstream, you need lipotropic adjunct. It helps keep lipids emulsified, flowing through the liver, flowing through the bloodstream, so they don't get hung up and then clog up and then causing a traffic jam in your circulatory system. And this is what I tell everybody. You want better circulation? You need to be on our lipotropic adjunct. Yes.
does that take the place oftentimes of people of going on these statins? If you take a statin, does that take the place of a statin?
I would much rather take a lipotropic adjunct than a statin, yes.
Hmm.
B6 is also found in lipotropic adjunct. It's also found in our B complex, super B. It's necessary for many physiological processes to work properly in the body. For instance, in various coenzyme forms, it is involved in more than 100 enzyme reactions that are mainly concerned with protein metabolism. So you got protein metabolism, you got fat metabolism, you got glucose metabolism, you got carbohydrate metabolism going on here. Vitamin B6 also plays a role in making antibodies. There's your immune system. Very important for brain signaling. There's your moods. There's your elevation of tryptophan, serotonin, dopamine. Molecules known as neurotransmitters is found everywhere magnesium is found. So your B vitamins work closely with magnesium. They actually give magnesium access and boost and support magnesium. It's amazing how the body works and functions together. And when one part's missing, everybody suffers. B6 also plays a role. Antibodies, very important brain signaling. It's involved in maintaining glucose metabolism, immune function, formation of the protein, hemoglobin, red blood cells, carries oxygen from the lungs to the body's tissue, and returns carbon dioxide back to the lungs, reducing histamine response. So in other words, it's a detox pathway. It's using, remember, your lungs is part of your detox pathway. So this B vitamin, if you take lipotropic adjunct, you are assisting your body in this detox pathway of getting rid of the carbon dioxide and increasing oxygen. Anytime you can increase oxygen, you are going to have better health. Bottom line, anytime you can increase oxygen, you will have better health. Anytime you can decrease your carbon dioxide, which is the stuff that's supposed to exhale out of your body, you're going to have better health. The richest source of B6 includes fish, meat, beef, liver, and other organ meats, poultry, nut, avocados, bananas, and whole unrefined grains. Again, I can't sing the praises enough of lipotropic adjunct for the brain, for the heart, for the circulation, for the liver, for the lungs. Oh my goodness. Vitamin B9, folic acid, which works with B12 to help red blood cells. It's also needed for making DNA. Here you have another layer and another level of protection in protecting your very DNA. It protects the DNA from the heavy toxins that we're being bombarded with every single day in the environment and through our ignorance if we inject it into our bodies. Are you getting the picture here? The main food sources of folic acid include liver, asparagus, broccoli, beets, Brussels sprouts. Notice they're in a lot of the sulfuric family of vegetables, the broccoli, the cauliflower, the Brussels sprouts, radishes, beets, romaine lettuce, dried beans, cooked pinto, navy, kidney and lima beans, lentils, chickpeas, wheat germ, brewer's yeast. Folate deficiency can lead to improper growth of the body's cells and a result of anemia. This is why our endurance is desiccated liver that has all of these compact B vitamins in it that's wrapped in 2 layers of bound vitamin C for absorption. So yes, B vitamins work closely with vitamin C. The vitamin has been shown to reduce the risk of neural tube defects and is considered vital for pregnant women, which is why many foods are now fortified with folic acid. Anybody in my family that's pregnant that'll listen, I tell them, take the lipotropic adjunct. There's clinical studies showing that it protects the baby from these birth defects. Oh my goodness. Wow. Another one that's in the lipotropic we'll focus on is B12. I used to go for B12 injections. Oh my goodness, before I knew better. Why? Because B12 is a 12. What about the 1 and the 2 and the 5 and the 6? What? You see, you have receptors on your cells for the whole family. And when you flood the receptors with one family member, you'll become deficient in all the other family members because one of them is flooding the receptors and there's no room for any other family member. I always like to say, have you ever noticed that every family has one person that when you have a family gathering, that when you walk into the room, they're the ones that seem to suck in all the oxygen and there's no more oxygen left for you. Well, that's the B12 or any other isolate. It's a principle in nutrition that you need the whole family, not just saturating. Now, there are times, and I'm not so ignorant to think that you never need extra B12. There are certain times doing lab work where if you cover the bases of all the family and then you still need extra B12, that's okay to do it that way. But don't just go into your body and flood in one isolate. You'll end up deficient in the other family members. So phospholipids and neurotransmitters, molecules important. The vitamin keeps nerve and blood cells healthy and also helps to make DNA. Here you go again, protecting your DNA. So notice these are DNA protectors. To make DNA and genetic material, B12 is found in meat, organ meat, liver, kidney, beef liver, clams, and other shellfish, poultry, eggs, milk, dairy. Deficiency of this vitamin is common in the elderly, and strict vegetarians and vegans are always deficient in B12. And those who take oral contraceptives or medications or gastric disorders or insulin resistance, sensitivity to sulfites, these are all symptoms of being B12 deficient. If you have a lot of sensitivities to sodium benzoate, sulfites, aspirin, MSG, it's because you need some extra B vitamins. Cover your whole base first, get the whole family in first before you just saturate with one family member. Now let's move on. We've covered the B family. And I might add also that the Neolife B also has inositol and choline, which are, I call them kissing cousins to the B family, which are very important in neurotransmission and other cofactors that the B vitamins need, that they work together. Super C. Vitamin C is a water-soluble antioxidant. Since we cannot make it on our own, we have to get it from our food. Smokers suffer from a deficiency. Vitamin C acts as an essential cofactor in at least 8 enzymatic reactions. A cofactor is a compound needed for an enzyme to function optimally. And essential means that many enzymes simply cannot do their job without vitamin C. Enzymes are biological proteins that greatly increase the speed and efficiency of hundreds of chemical reactions in the body cells. So imagine super boosting your body's fuel at the cellular level by adding vitamin C, lowering your histamine. Histamine is different than what we talked about just a minute ago, homocysteine. Histamine levels is reactions to sensitivities, allergies. This is why vitamin C works great with allergies. It makes collagen. Fibrous protein is a structure basis for skin, tendons, bone, cartilage, and all the other connective tissue made from the body. Vitamin C requires making other biological important compounds, neurotransmitters, chemicals made in your body play a critical role in signaling brain and nervous system. Who knew how closely vitamin C works together with vitamin B? Notice vitamin C is a cofactor to vitamin B and vice versa as they work together to support neurotransmission, as they support digestion, metabolism. Vitamin C family, along with being a cofactor, vitamin C is also a powerful antioxidant that protects the body against oxidative stress by countering the actions of harmful free radicals. So they counteract harmful free radical damage, just like B vitamins actually help to detox pathway. Vitamin C comes in and helps the detox pathway, and it literally blocks the damage that toxic chemicals do. Free radicals are known to react chemically with cellular structures in the body, damaging them. Here we have DNA, RNA protection. So do you see how important it is for just vitamin C, vitamin B to work together to protect your DNA? Oh my goodness. The body from free radical damage. Vitamin C also helps to reactivate other important antioxidants such as vitamin E. Remember, vitamin E and vitamin C kind of have a co-worker thing going on, to where if one is present, they can team up and get a job done and work for 30, 60, 90 days as a team. Wow. The vitamin C also helps with naturally found in broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, citrus fruits, spinach, strawberries, tomatoes, and avocados. There's more vitamin C in an avocado than there is in orange. Yes. Yes. And out of the avocado, you're getting your good, what? Fats. And remember, 1 vitamin C from our Super C is equivalent to you consuming 8 oranges. You get the synergistic power punch of 8 oranges. Now, when's the last time you sat down and ate 8 oranges? Oh my goodness. Now let's move on to A, B, C, D. Let's hit D, the power of D. Vitamin D, also known as sunshine. Sunshine vitamin is a name given to a group of fat-soluble vitamins found in liver and fish oil that is essential for the absorption of calcium, iron, phosphate, magnesium, and zinc. Vitamin D is obtained from sun exposure, food, and supplements. Now, vitamin D is more termed as a hormone. It is a, remember I shared with you that vitamin D, most vitamin D is from radiated lanolin. And remember, our vitamin A has vitamin D in it because vitamin D is naturally occurring in the liver of a fish, a cold water fish, pollock. And what was the very first remedy that grandma had in her medicine cabinet at all times? Cod liver oil. And the intensity of cod liver oil was vitamin A and vitamin D. So here you have a vitamin D that Neolife came out a couple of years ago. It's the world's first and only vegan D source. And it has 2 main relative forms of vitamin D, has both D2 and D3 in it, which helps the vitamins functions the body maintain blood calcium and phosphorus levels within the normal range by enhancing the efficiency of small intestine absorption of these minerals from your diets. So if vitamin D is not present in the gut, you can't, you have to have the good fats in the gut. Cholesterol has to be present in the gut for vitamin D to be made. That's how you make vitamin D. Sun touches your skin. There is a reaction to the skin and the fat layer of your skin, sending messages to your gut, meets up with cholesterol and makes vitamin D. Plays an important role in bone health, Clinical trials indicate that supplementation with at least 20 micrograms, 800 units of vitamin D per day may reduce the risk of falls, fractures in older individuals. Noted that every single person that was hospitalized from COVID had vitamin D deficiency. Wow. Low vitamin D can also impact your immune system performance, our cardiovascular health, our muscle strength, our blood glucose regulation, our overall mood. Low vitamin D increases the risk of viral infections, including those of respiratory symptoms. Wow, vitamin D is also required for bone health, other functions. It helps to move calcium stores from the bones into your blood in the liver. So in other words, it helps to dissolve things like calcium deposits, kidney stones, and all kinds of calcium deposits in the body. It's vitamin D helps to actually go in and redirect and dissolve those. Vitamin D exerts its effects by binding to a protein called the vitamin D receptor. This receptor is present in nearly every cell of the body and affects many different body processes. So this hormone has a house on every single cell in your body.
You said something there that kind of true.
Uh-huh.
My sister tells me that her doctor told her not to take vitamin D because she has calcium. That seems, did I misunderstand you or?
No, it says right here that vitamin D helps to dissolve the calcium deposits
So
in the
why is
body.
her doctor telling her not?
They don't know.
Is she's taking a synthetic and not a natural.
No, the doctor said, do not take vitamin D. You don't-
All right,
You
the-
you don't want to do so. Again, I wanna clarify so I can tell her, hey, don't listen to your doctor. So,
I tell people, go to your doctor, get the analysis, get the test made, hear what he has to say, and go home and do the opposite.
so I just told her to.
That's my opinion only, and my opinion, that's what, my opinion. Disclaimer.
Our vitamin. It's like owning Boardwalk,
Yes, our vitamin D is like owning Boardwalk in Monopoly. Wait a minute, that's very good. Dark skin needs is 10 times more than a light skinned person. They need 10 times more vitamin D than a light skinned person. It is take a look at this, that it's vitamin D is considered a hormone as well as a vitamin and influences the function of many genes in our body. By the way, Brian, every person that was in the hospital with COVID was vitamin D deficient. Every person that lives above Georgia in the United States of America is vitamin D deficient. Okay, let's break it down to common sense here. He's saying that she has calcium deposits in the body, so don't take vitamin D, which tells calcium what to do and where to go. You never take calcium without vitamin D, because calcium then won't know where to go, where to get deposited in the right accurate place, and what to do.
So
Wow.
She might be taking the wrong calcium supplement.
She's not taking calcium. She's not taking calcium, she's not taking D, because the doctor said, don't take it, because your body has got calcium.
Well,
The labs are telling us that you.
Yeah. We can talk about that later, but it has nothing to do with calcium. It has to do with the body is too acidic, and the calcium that it has in the body is being drawn out of the blood, trying to balance the pH of the blood, and then it can't reabsorb because it doesn't have any D to tell it what to do. She's not using what she has, and she's not getting enough of what she needs. So we can talk about that, but it can help her. Just misinformation. It is difficult to obtain adequate levels. Here it is from food alone. Did you hear this? Foods with good levels of vitamin D include fish. So does she eat salmon, tuna, and mackerel every night?
Oh,
Does she eat beef liver every night? Cheese, egg yolks, and mushrooms? Then she's not getting too much D. We typically obtain only about 10 to 20% of our vitamin D from foods. We have to supplement. Wow. And then exposure to sunlight. So is he telling her not to ever go outside and get sunshine?
No, she didn't make any comment about that. I asked her, are you getting sun?
Yeah,
And she goes, yeah, I get some sun, yeah.
20 minutes every day. Neolife D complex. It contains 2 unique ingredients. 1, vitamin D from reindeer lichen, edible lichen, algae, fungus. This is a edible lichen. The natural lichen D3 ingredient is sustainably sourced using gentle extraction techniques traditionally consumed by people in the Arctic countries. It also contains D2, superior quality mushrooms, post-harvest flash UV light exposure to mushroom produces D2 enriched mushrooms. These mushrooms provide valuable whole food beta glucans known to be a particular benefit for the immune system. In other words, it is the whole cofactors, enzymes, and the family of D. Now let's move on to vitamin E, A, B, C, D, E. Vitamin E. Vitamin E is a natural antioxidant. It is a fat-soluble antioxidant, like vitamin C is a water-soluble antioxidant. Its main function is to neutralize free radical damage and protect the body's cellular components from their damaging effects. Vitamin E is also lessens blood's ability to clot, which may be helpful in patients who are at risk or suffering from coronary artery disease, in which blood clots can form around atherosclerotic plaques and can lead to heart disease. Vitamin E is found in foods such as avocados, wheat germ and wheat germ oil, eggs, seeds, nuts, green leafy vegetables, dark green leafy vegetables, spinach, broccoli, asparagus, turnip greens, papaya, mango, and whole grains. Guess where Neolife is deriving their vitamin E from? Cold extract wheat germ oil. There are 8 factors to the family of vitamin E up here. There are 4 tocotrienols and 4 tocopherols. The entire family is included in our E. Why? Because that's our philosophy. It's very unique. It's water miscible. Remember, we talked about our vitamin A being water miscible. It's water miscible formulation for quick disbursement into the small, tiny particles. It's cold extracted. Unrefined wheat germ oil is combined with high potency soy lipid extracts. It is a complete family of vitamin E. It provides the entire E family of the tocopherols and tocotrienols, not just alpha tocopherol, in balanced ratios. That's important, in balanced ratios that occur naturally in nature. Neolife Vitamin E Plus promotes cardiovascular health, strengthens immune system, natural, not synthetic. You'll never find anything synthetic in Neolife. High potency, standardized, 100% food sourced, water miscible technology. This is amazing technology. This is pioneer technology. This is above, over, beyond anything that any other standards internationally has ever even attained. Now, you'll probably want to snap a picture of this, but I put these charts together. There's the last 2 slides, and these 2 slides are going to show you, these are the food science that was done years ago, showing the benefit of these food groups, showing the benefits, and showing what Neolife has to offer to fill the gap and meet the need. So they showed that lycopene in tomatoes may prevent prostate and pancreatic cancer in men. Where are you going to find that lycopene in Neolife? The carotenoid complex. Showed cruciferous vegetables may offer benefit for people with a genetic predisposition to lung cancer or in hormone remediated type cancers. Where are you going to find this cruciferous formula in its whole food formula, all of its cofactors, all of its enzymes from human whole food derived is a cruciferous plus. How about carotenoid rich green leafy vegetables and root vegetables they found in clinical studies is associated with reduced risk of stomach cancer? Where are you going to find this carotenoid? In our carotenoid complex, our cruciferous for the green leafy vegetables, and our phytodefense. This is where you're going to find it in what Neolife has to offer. Red grapes, they did a study on the red grapes and the resveratrol, potential anti-carcinogen effects that actually help protect the body at the cellular level from carcinogens. You'll find that in our drink, Tray drink, or in our flavonoid complex. Oh my goodness. How about onions and garlics? They did a study on onion and garlics. And on those onion and garlics, they showed that there's an actual link to eating onion and garlic and significant reduction risk in colorectal cancers, ovarian cancers, breast cancers, prostate cancers, renal cancers, esophageal cancers, oral cavity cancers, and throat cancers. Where are you going to find that? Garlic allium complex. Where are you going to find a whole food derived with the entire family complex? Neolife. Oh my goodness. How about some studies that they did on vitamin A and beta carotene and alpha carotenoid or carotene? And they found that it was associated with reducing the risk of stomach cancers and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Where are you going to find that vitamin A? You're going to find it synthetically out there in the marketplace? No, you're going to go to Neolife vitamin A. You're going to go to Neolife carotenoid complex. You're going to go to Neolife Betagard because Neolife Betagard is derived from an amazing vitamin A. They found that calcium, when you take calcium, it may reduce colorectal cancer risk. Oh my goodness. Where are you going to find a good calcium? You're going to find it has to be a 2-to-1 ratio of calcium and magnesium, and it's got to have vitamin D to tell it where to go and what to do. Our calcium magnesium is 2-to-1 ratio of calcium magnesium with 1,000 units of vitamin D.
I gave her some magnesium. She's taking it now, but she's missing what? The cal mag. What the? Wait a minute. If she's got calcium deposits and she's taking magnesium, shouldn't that solve itself?
It should. I mean, it's going to help. It's going to assist her body. Magnesium, other minerals. Calcium deposits is from your body being too acidic. Food nutrient that they did studies on showing its benefit, fish and omega-3s. They showed that it improved heart health and may reduce colorectal cancer risk and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Where are you going to find your salmon oil? The only salmon oil in the world that I will put in my body is a Neolife salmon oil. Why? Because it's the only one that is cold extracted from the human natural food part of the silver coho fish, tested for 200 toxins, and is the only one that has been tested clinically on humans to reduce your inflammatory index by 68% and your triglycerides by 17%. And it's the only salmon oil in the world that Stanford University will use in their studies. And these studies were done at UC Davis and Berkeley. How about dietary fiber and vitamin E? They did clinical studies showing that if you took in fiber and vitamin E, it associated with a reduced risk of lymphoma cancers. All natural, where are you going to find it? All natural food and fiber blend from Neolife, fiber, and then our vitamin E plus that we talked about. That's where you're going to find it. How about they did some studies that show that green and black tea and its health benefit was anti-carcinogenic effect on breast and prostate and colon and liver cells. Well, where are you going to find a trusted source for green and black tea? It's in the tray, it's in the Neolife tea, and it's in the flavonoids. Quercetin, EGCG were the two active ingredients. They're all identified and found in the tray, the Neolife tea, and the flavonoids. And the last one on the chart, Source Eating to Beat Cancer, Health and Nutritional Letter, Tufts University Study on Cancer. That's who did these studies. I wanted you to see the source of these studies that I'm sharing with you. Research supports that more than 80% of cancers related deaths are attributed to nutritional and lifestyle factors.
Wow.
Wow. Can we say wow, wow, wow? This is amazing information. We need this information. We need to change the future and the future of our future generations, helping them understand the power of nature and how to do it right, so we can fill the gap, meet the need, raise the level, and defend ourselves at the cellular level against all these onslaughts of chronic disease. I'm going to actually go up here and end the slideshow and stop screen share. Stop share, go back over here and go over here to
When I had COVID 2 years ago, you got me